Hi everybody, this is Carla again, and this time I'm back with a review for episode 6 of season 3 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The episode is titled Among Us Hide, and Jesus, Jesus, like seriously, this episode, I was kind of expecting them to reveal Lash relatively soon because I think that's been a pattern. By the way, forgive me if I sound kind of congested. I have allergies right now, so sorry about that. But as I was saying, I was expecting them to reveal Lash pretty soon because that's kind of been a pattern this season where things happen just a lot faster than I expect them to happen. So I was expecting the Lash thing not to last too long in mystery. So I knew, when I saw the title of the episode and everything, I thought, okay, this is gonna be the Lash reveal, right? So at the beginning, I am all excited at first because, as you'd expect, Daisy's like, yeah, I think maybe he's maybe he is in the ATCU, and then they started to follow the dude, the second in command of Rosalind's. And for the first, 15 minutes of the episode, I was like, yes, I totally called it. I was so right because remember a couple episodes ago I said I think Lash might be in the ATCU. And then as the episode went on, I was like, no, wait a minute, I'm never right about these things. So it's gonna be someone else, right? So, I kind of figured out early on that it wasn't going to be ATCU guy. I wasn't expecting that reveal though. I should have probably, because whenever there's a character that I love in a show, they either die or they turn evil or they have their memory erased or something. Something happens to them, because that's just my karma, okay? Whenever I like a character, something bad has to happen to them, right? So last episode I thought that Andrew was dead, right? I was so upset about that because I'm like, he's gonna die. Great. So when this episode started and he wasn't dead, I should have known. Of course I didn't, because I never figure out these things, okay? I'm slow like that. I never figure out anything before the show tells me. So when it happened in the end, I'm like, damn. It had to be, right? It couldn't just be Andrew. It couldn't be that Andrew was just a nice guy and a victim and he was just there at the wrong time. No, he has to be Lash, right? Come on. What else could they do to traumatize me for life, right? So yeah, Andrew turns out to be Lash. I like the idea because it explains why he didn't attack Daisy. At the same time, I might have to go back and rewatch a couple episodes because I don't know how he knew about the ATCU transport. I don't remember. Did May tell him? I'm not quite sure. Or was it Coulson? I'm not quite sure, but I may have to check that. But I do think some things make a lot of sense. Now that I know that he is Lash, so I guess we'll see. And I figure if there's some kind of idea behind what Lash is doing, that he's killing Inhumans who aren't worthy or something like that, it does sound like something a psychiatrist might think might follow, because he puts a lot of worth on people's motivations as a psychiatrist, so that could be it. I don't think Andrew was always an Inhuman. I think he's part of the new wave, and because I think he's part of the new wave, I don't think he's acting on his own. He might actually just, again, doing the psychiatrist thing and trying to figure out Inhumans' motivations and finding them worthy or not worthy. But I don't think I think there's more to it, because it's way too early for a big bad of the season to be done with, right? So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping again that we see more of that, and whoever the man behind the man turns out to be, then I hope it happens soon, because I really don't think that Andrew's going to be the big bad of the season. At the same time, it's freaking delicious, okay? Because he is apparently evil, apparently, because it still hasn't been confirmed, but he's obviously out to kill Inhumans, like he's actively looking for them. Now May knows, and I'm going to guess that Coulson and Daisy are going to know soon. And it's just, oh my god, the drama. It is so delicious. I cannot wait to see how that goes. Like, seriously. Because, obviously, I mean, Andrew wouldn't necessarily know that May found the Strucker kid. So, hey, drama. Bring it. I want it. I mean, even if I love Andrew, I can't help but be excited for the idea that there's going to be drama soon. And honestly, I'm not entirely convinced he's evil. I mean, I think there's a complex reason for what he's doing. So maybe he'll turn out to be not evil in the end, just misguided by whoever's, behind the scenes. And, I mean, I'm happy that it explains why he split from May, which was kind of weird for everybody, right? Like, why would... Like, he loves her, so why would he just step away from her, right? I mean, I guess his transformation has something to do with that. Guess we'll see. On the May side of things, I guess the whole May-Bobby partnership was something I really was looking forward to for a long time, because these are the two most kick-ass female characters in the show, and it's just, I was longing to see them not only fight each other but also work together. So that was great. I mean, their fight was awesome. I knew from the beginning that May was kind of testing her, because she wasn't that, I mean, she's not the type to get mad at Bobby because of something that Hunter did, because that would be ridiculous. So I kind of knew from the beginning that she was just testing her to see if she was field ready. And just, I like the way they played off each other at that Cayman Islands bank, because even if May thought that Bobby was kind of stepping back because she was afraid, which was true, honestly. I mean, she was still afraid, of course. But at the same time, I think it also goes to show that they just think differently. Bobby would much rather start with diplomacy and work her way from there. May is pretty much, knock down doors first and ask later. You know what I mean? She's not the type to be nice and polite and smiley. So I like that it just shows how different they are, even if they're both kick-ass in their own right. So I like that. I also love the fact that they had Ming-Na speaking Mandarin. Yay! It's great to see that. I mean, because clearly representation is a pretty big deal, and I'm very glad that she had a chance to, use something from her culture to bring to the show. I don't know, I liked Bobby's fight with Hydra dude whose name I don't really care for. Has she used the electric part of her batons before? I may have to go back and check, but I don't remember her doing that. And it struck me as such a Black Widow thing to do, especially after Age of Ultron. So that was interesting. As far as the Ward thing goes, again, Ward, right now, it's just very blah. When he was talking to his henchman about Von Strucker and how they had to go find him, his henchman just kind of snaps back at him, and I'm like, if you were in Hydra, he would be dead. Like, if Ward was a real Hydra leader, that dude would be dead. He would have been shot straight away. Because Hydra is not, like, buddy, you know, you do what I want you to, and you keep your privileges. Hydra it was military, in a way. Like, there was a chain of command, and you had to respect that chain of command, and that dude, if he had been mouthing off to the older Von Strucker, or to any of the other Hydra leaders, he would have been dead. So, again, it just goes to show that thing where I still keep feeling that Ward is running this thing like a gang rather than an evil organization, and I really don't like that. But I guess since this guy Gideon, whatever his name is back now, I am hoping that he takes over from Ward, and gives us an actual look at an actual Hydra leader that worth his salt, okay? Because Ward is not it. I'm sorry. At least not yet. As far as Hunter, Daisy, and Mag, or as I affectionately call them, the Three Stooges. That was hilarious. I mean, I love that Hunter is kind of all over the place right now because he doesn't even know what to do with himself, and yes, he has anger issues, okay? I mean, starting with when Coulson took him off the case of the mission, I like that that conversation he had with Bobby when she left with May, because it's one of those things where, you know, even though Hunter is angry and wants revenge on Ward for what he did to Bobby, he still understands that Bobby is an agent and that she has a job to do, and he understands when she tells him she can do it, he has to go with it. I mean, he didn't try to stop her, he just asked, "Are you really ready?" And she told him yes, and he let her go because he couldn't have stopped her. You know, it's her decision. So I like that, because even though, you know, Hunter might come across as a bit of a hothead and, you know, typical macho dude or whatever, he actually does respect Bobby and respect her abilities. And they just respect each other as agents. So I like that. I like that conversation a lot. I also really, I admit it, I'm sort of beginning to ship them a little, because I really thought it was cute when she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna say the thing," and he's like, "You know what it is." I mean, I thought that was really cute, and you know, I look forward to seeing more of their scenes together, because I think that's what first began to make me warm up to them. I didn't really like either of them much last season, but when they sort of got back together, that's kind of what made me go, okay, so this could be interesting. Besides, if they're gonna have their own spin-off, which it seems like they will, from what everything Marvel has said about this, you know, I'll be all up for it if the chemistry is as good there as it is here. Because I think they make a good team, even when they're not partnering up together. So, yeah, basically, I mean, Hunter's anchor thing was the funniest thing. I laughed so hard, like, when they're in the van, and Daisy and Mac are like, "Yeah, how are we gonna get to him?" And then all of a sudden, Hunter's just walking out, covering his face with a bandana. It's like nothing's happening, you know? It's like, yeah, whatever, let's just try to rob him and, you know, pretend to rob him so he doesn't recognize us. And Daisy's like, "Come on!" You know, it was so funny. And they would just, like, watch him just beat up this poor dude who turned out to not do anything wrong after all. And then he's like, "Oh, you want blood? Pfft, blood." You know, it's like, dude, seriously? He was so funny. I mean, I love that everybody was calling him out on the Andrew thing, because honestly, yeah, he was kind of out of line. So I like that they're not letting him kind of get away with it, but at the same time, okay, he had a good reason. Yes, he wants revenge, but at the same time, he couldn't be sure, and he had a mission. So you kind of have to balance those two out, and eventually he'll get enough of the pot shots at him that he'll be like, okay, I was wrong, and he will get it, and probably not do that again. But I like that he's a hothead, because he's funny. He's so funny when he was trying to help Fitz, and Fitz is like, dude, just go somewhere else. That was so funny. Speaking of Fitz and his conversation with Fitz, I like that Hunter, because he's different that way, right? Everybody else is like, oh, Fitz, you're so good, including myself, because honestly, whenever Fitz does anything to help, this whole Will thing, anytime it's mentioned, brought up, I'm like, oh, he's so good, I love him so much, I want a Fitz of my own. But at the same time, I like that Hunter actually says what other people just don't dare say, which is like, dude, you're helping out your would-be girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, come back here so he can take her away from you. Like, who would do that? Are you serious? I love that Hunter is the one that can just kind of tell him, heck no, be selfish, It's like, for once in your life, you can be selfish. People would understand. But I mean, still Fitz doesn't. So, again, he's such a great guy. I love him. But I just love that Hunter can be the one to tell it him straight. He's the one that sees things differently. That's what he brings to this organization. That's what he brings to this show, and I like that. Speaking of Fitz and Simmons and the missing in action Will, again, I'm happy that Fitz is helping. I hope they bring Will back somehow. At the same time, I'm glad Fitz is looking him up, because honestly, Hunter did have a point. I mean, how much do we know about this guy? I mean, I guess from what Fitz was reading up on him, that Will is actually a great person, and that would be awesome. I mean, that's what he seemed like in the one episode he was in. At the same time, he could be a serial killer, who knows? I mean, obviously NASA wouldn't pick a serial killer as an astronaut, hopefully, but, you never know. He could be any other kind of guy, and his, his contact with Gemma was so, it was such a special circumstance that she would never, he might be something completely different under different circumstances. So I think it's good that Fitz is looking up on him, because honestly, he needs to know. I think that's good. I hope it doesn't create drama between him and Gemma, because, come on, Gemma, I mean, sure, you know the guy, but it's good to have a little bit of background. So we'll see, but I'm happy that Fitz he's helping, but at the same time, he's not taking any chances that this guy might be, a wife beater, or have anger issues, or something like that. Who knows? And then the Lincoln thing. I mean, I guess Andrew's going to go after Lincoln now. I don't understand why he wants to kill Lincoln. I hope that gets explained soon. But I was glad to see Lincoln. I was glad that he's still in contact with Daisy. Because I read up on reviews the last time around when he got captured, and people were like, that scene was so bad, blah blah blah, and the romance, was that really necessary? I like them. I'm not apologizing at all for liking them, okay? I ship them. They're cute. I like them. I like Lincoln. I want to see him back. And I guess we'll see. I also would like to see what they do with Joey. Because remember, Joey is still in the custody of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Andrew is probably in the same base. And he probably has access to Joey. So either he considers him worthy of living, or he just can't get to him while he's in S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's planning something else. So that will be interesting to see how it plays out. As far as the Coulson Coulson Russell thing, honestly, I'm on Daisy's side in this one. I don't think it's a good idea for Coulson to be all buddy. I mean, I like Rosalind. I don't think Rosalind is bad. Okay, I even think that she was trying to like butter up to Coulson because she wants him to like her. But at the same time, I don't think what the ATCU is doing is right. It's one thing to put people under at their request. Like, if the person thinks they're dangerous and asks to be held until a cure is found, then great, but don't follow them and stalk them and capture them like animals because you think they're out of control. Okay, that's the wrong part about it. So even if Rosalind has good intentions, I just don't think that that's the way to go about it. I'm with Daisy in this one. And I think Coulson is a bit, let's say, he's a bit kind of entranced by Rosalind because he sees himself in her somehow, I guess, because they kind of do the same. But again, I mean, even if they have Joey captured, for example, he could leave, you know? They're not forcing him to stay if he doesn't want to. They told him these are your options, you know, and they told him that his best option was to stay, so he stays. But if he wants to go, they can't really retain him, you know? So that is one thing S.H.I.E.L.D. has in favor of them, which makes them different from the ATCU, because let's be honest, the ATCU puts them in those cages, and apparently there's this gel that keeps them alive and keeps them comfortable. It's still a freaking cage. Okay, you couldn't put them in a bed or something? Like, really? Does it have to be that cramped? Was that necessary? So, you know, I'm really very much with Daisy in this one, and I think Coulson is getting a little bit in over his head when it comes to Rosalind. So I definitely agree with the fact that Daisy keeps calling him out on it, because I think she has a point. So I guess we'll see. I mean, it would be kind of good if it turns out that Rosalind realizes that they're wrong and kind of joins up with Coulson, because I do think they have very good chemistry. And I really enjoy their conversations. They're very interesting and really fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, I just think Coulson is getting in over his head. And like I've said before, I think he's been making a series of wrong decisions, and I really hope Daisy calls him out of it on it next time. I like that Mac and Hunter were like, I'm sure there's a good reason for that. And I do agree that Daisy kind of has to hear him out. But again, not right. No matter how much you stretch it. So, yeah. I guess we'll see about that, but I don't know. I would think that they're going to focus more on the Andrew thing for now, because that's a bit more pressing, especially when May and Bobby get back, but I guess we'll see. Not too long to wait, because this review is pretty late. Sorry, I watch too many TV shows, so sometimes I have a busy week and they just build up the reviews, like they just kind of build up and I get stuck. So sorry this is a little bit late, but that means that I only have a couple more days to watch the next episode. Yay me. I guess we'll see. So yep, that's about it. I mean, I like the episode. It started off slow, but then it got better, and then the lash reveal was like, whoa, mind blown. So yeah, again, the show just keeps that momentum going, and that's very good, because for everybody who thought the first couple of seasons were slow, here's the proof that S.H.I.E.L.D. can actually be compelling, because every episode so far has been pretty darn good, and I hope that it brings more people into the fold of taking S.H.I.E.L.D. seriously, because I know there are detractors out there, and this is a really good show. It's worth a shot. So yeah, that's about it for me now. For more S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews, be sure to visit our website at thegeekypub.com. We have reviews from this season, the previous season. We also have reviews for other TV shows, books, movies, ton of stuff in there, so be sure to visit. And I will see you guys in my next review. Bye!